So, another short one. Sorry about that. Yeah. If you can't really tell, uh, here is where first duel ended. These are my notes for Attack from the Deep. So, yeah. The dub has fallen even further behind in my preferences. I'll admit it, it's the performances that really pushed this one to where it's like, yeah, no, I don't like. I preferred in the sub. As I said, I'm gonna keep going because I'm actually curious, how that score is going to be. So, this is our first introduction to Mako Tsunami, aka Ryota Hijiki. Or Hijiki. I am bad with Japanese names. I can't speak Japanese, so we'll just call him Ryota. I will probably just keep calling him Mako because by memory he's only got like 2 duels and he's fine in both of them. Yeah, I'm gonna warn you, this is probably gonna be the one that's the shortest because I've literally got nothing to talk about. I've literally got 5 notes that I took while watching the dub, and 4 that I took while watching the sub. And for the record, with my sub notes, one of them is universal, one of them is exclusive to the, 2 of them are exclusive to the sub, and then one of them is actually talking about a change. That's not even a joke. But let's talk about the start of the episode. So Joey's gloating because he defeated Mai. Okay. I mean, Tristan seems to be okay with letting Joey gloat, but I don't know. One victory going to his head is a thing that could potentially be a problem because, yeah. Yeah. Let's just say certain protagonists will run into this issue, and it's going to cause them to hit a brick wall. Both Yuma and Yuya coming to mind immediately when I say that. Though I could be wrong. So, Mako has left out some fish because he was trying to catch duelists, basically. But unlike Mai, who's trying to weed out the weak duelists, no, Mako actually wants an actual challenge. So, yeah, letting Joey, eat and run? Sure. Did I say Joey? Yeah, letting Joey eat and run? Sure. We're good. Letting Yugi get away? Nah, not happening. Because, defeating the guy who defeated Seto Kaiba. Wow. It's almost too it must be impossible to resist that compulsion. Excuse me. Yeah. So the duel begins, and, well, Mako has the stealth sea attack. In other words, the ocean hides his monsters. Apparently that's even from, from the look of the field. I'm sorry, what? I don't know, it just seems a little... And goes against the spirit of the game, really. Again, like I said, you're supposed to announce your moves. They kind of don't really do that. Mika doesn't really do that in this episode. Not all that much, anyway. So yeah, his monsters are getting creamed, but then he thinks, fair limp. But of course, because Mako's a sea duelist, well, come on, the most basic logic is water conducting electricity. So he's ready for it with a jellyfish. Yeah, this episode is literally season 1 shenanigans, the episode, basically, because like every move is shenanigans, with like the sole exception of Horn Imp. That's not even a joke. Every move is shenanigans, except for Horned Imp and putting Giant Soldier Stone in defense. Although that's apparently supposed to create more land, and it's I'm sorry, what? uh oh, and Curse of Dragon while we're on the subject. But there is one thing we should probably there is one minor thing I've skipped over. The Japanese version doesn't have the transformation sequence, but the dub does. I find that interesting. I do. Ew, because it's an interesting touch. All right, let's talk about this about Mako's backstory, because this is the first instance, although nowhere near the last, of death being censored. Because there are characters who die in this series. They perma die. Now, we'll get into that more when it comes up, but for example, they 4Kids has this nasty habit, and they're infamous for it, of, oh, this character didn't die. He's, he got on a lifeboat, or he's just missing, or whatever. And it's worse the less sense it makes. Here, maybe Mako's father could have hopped on a lifeboat. Maybe. But it does make more sense that the sea, well, took him. Took Mako's father and left him alone. The selflessness, the self-sacrifice of a parent. I can't help but admire that. You can really see what, and that's why it's funny, because it almost feels like his "I will conquer the seas" is, but you can almost feel like it's just he wants revenge against the sea in a way. It's not hard to imagine. Not really. I do like that he's not out to be evil or malicious or any of that. He's just, well, he's just trying to honor his father. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Except for when Yugi decides, screw the rules, I have frickin' plot armor, the Konami turns into a frickin' card later. I'm not even joking. Okay, I have to bring this up. I have to read this card for you, because so what happens in this episode is Yugi puts Giant Soldier of Stone, and in the Japanese version, Ryoto says, "Oh, you're trying to make more land so you can expand your strategy. Well, I'm going to surround Giant Soldier of Stone so that way you can't do that." But that's what Yugi was waiting for, and he shifts Giant Soldier of Stone to attack mode. And in both versions, he's like, "Wait, you can't hit my underwater creatures while they're underwater. So what the heck is?" Yeah, like okay. The idea is supposed to cut off the half the effect of Kairyushin, the Leviathan creature, and that caused his things. That caused his monsters to be beached. Well, the actual TCG card actually kind of just makes more sense, right? So once per turn, when the battle position of a rock-type monster you control is changed, you can target one spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy that target. So effectively, the idea is you destroy the moon and that destroys Yumi, kind of thing. Yeah, Konami actually made a frickin' card out of this scene because it is one of the most iconic scenes, mostly for how ridiculous it is. Attack the moon. Oh my god. And you know, want to know what the best part is? This is like technically the third time in shows that I grew up with that was a solution. Destroying the moon was the solution. Here, once in the original Dragon Ball, and then in Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if it was anywhere else, but then again, most shows that I watch tend to not destroy the moon. Because most shows don't ignore the effects that the destroying the moon would have. And how accurate or inaccurate this action would be for doing that desired effect, I will leave to astronomers because dude, I am a complete amateur when it comes to these kinds of things. Yeah. So I'm just double checking my notes. I didn't really talk about Kairyushin, but yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. It does feel like Yugi's kind of got this whole thing planned, but I gotta be honest, I don't really buy it all that much. I really don't. And that's all I've got. Oh my god, I feel like this is literally like a 10-minute episode. I mean, I know lore just goes until he's done, but Jesus. I figured I'd have more to say about this episode, but nope. Nope, this is all I got. 14 minutes, wow. I mean, what more can I really say about this episode, you know? Although I will say aqua, sea serpent, and fish type monsters are all underrepresented in this franchise, really. I mean, we won't even really get an actual good, no really good water attribute archetype until, Atlanteans and Mermail. And I would imagine that Atlanteans on their own probably don't count for some people. I know what you're thinking. What about ice barriers, Blue Wolf? Do me a favor and remove Baryonyx and Trishula from the equation on that and tell me how good ice barriers are. So have I been rambling just to get up to 15 minutes? Yes. But that's just mostly because, again, I have nothing to really say. I'm probably going to run into that problem when we get to Tameko's one appearance in Season 2. But I digress. Nevertheless, I hope you have enjoyed my thoughts. I'm going to chop this off. Next time, though, next time we get into some more heavy plot details. and we may or may not be upping those preference counters even more. Until then, Blue Wolf Fox the Lore Walker signing out. Have a good one. Duel standby, which I forgot last time because I'm an idiot.